So a while back I made a video about my estimations of the ramp up of AMD's MI300 chips, which will compete against Nvidia's H100. And H100 is a chip basically that had made the Nvidia stock fly to the moon in the past 12 months or 6 months. And we can definitely see also in Nvidia's earning reports that they are like getting a lot of sales, like billions of sales. And I mean, if we are able to hold this kind of price levels for each chip, Nvidia will possibly see something like 30 to 40 billion additional revenue next year for 2024, just based on basically H100 and a few derivatives of that product. This is why I made a video about AMD and see like what are the potentials of AMD's MI300. So if you are interested in the more details, please watch this video in the corner. In the meantime, let's just have a quick recap on how you added up at these numbers. So there was a rumor a few weeks back from these guys and also other industry insiders, but I think this one is summarizing everything very well. And the main takeaway here, in my opinion, is this here. So they estimate that AMD will be able, or they have access to 10 to 11,000 wafers from TSMC in the last 3 months of 2023. So it's roughly, let's say, divided by 3, that's basically 3,000 wafers per month. This number is really interesting because previously I had assumed something like 1,200 wafers for Q4 for AMD. So now they are saying like 3,000 per month roughly. So, and then I added a wider span. But if we, let's say, assume 3,000 and compare how many MI300 chips we estimated previously, so this was just basically below 83,000 chips based on the previous estimate, which I made like 5-6 weeks ago. And now if you look at the revised number, if those numbers or if those rumors are anything to trust, then we could expect something like 200,000 MI300s. And this is important because in my opinion, MI300 is like the best product that AMD is able to sell, with like average selling price at least at 10,000 US dollars, which I think I'm quite to be honest, I'm quite confident that they will be able to sell it at least at 10,000, especially since there are rumors of Nvidia even selling sometimes the H100 at 40,000 US dollar. Although that price and the rumors are that the price is going down a bit, but still I don't think AMD will sell this chip less than 10,000 US dollar. I just don't see that. But anyways, so looking at the updated estimates, we go from 1.2 billion roughly to, let's say, 3 billion additional revenue for AMD. And there's also one question remaining, because even if they are able to manufacture all these 200,000 or so chips for Q3, I'm not sure like if they are able to sell these chips before the end of the year, or all this sales gonna be reported on the earnings for, let's say, Q1 and Q2, or so. Yeah, it's very difficult to know exactly how the details of this manufacturing will go. But one thing's that for sure, if these rumors are true, which I think to some degree are, then I have no like hesitation about that, the fact that they will be able to book some of this revenue, like at least this 3 billion number, at some point within the coming 12 months. The question is that how much of this revenue will come in Q3 and Q4. Now for Q3 I don't expect a whole lot. In fact, we already know what Q3 will be, because this is Q2 at 5.4 billion US dollar. And I think if you look at the financial outlook that they give every year at every quarter. So the previous one, they said, so this is basically actually the Q1. They said that they expected 5.3 billion of revenue for Q2, and we got 5.4. So, and they've been kind of close to those estimations every time in the past 2 or 3 years. Now, if we go forward to see the outlook that they gave for Q3, we see that they say that the revenue, they are estimating 5.7 billion US dollar, plus or minus 300 million. And I think like those additional, let's say 300 billions of revenue after Q2 and going to Q3, and possibly a surprise of an additional 300 billion, that might be actually the simple fact of these MI300 chips. And if you look at the Q3 numbers, again, if we use the 500 wafers that they say AMD had access to in Q3, we could have just let's say $500 million of additional revenue on Q3. So yeah, I'm quite confident that they will hit at least the 5.7, maybe 5.8 billion. But the question is, and I think like what the stock's reaction will be, if the stock will like go up a lot or not after the earnings, is this slide, so page 24, but for let's say the Q3 actual report. Because when they give their outlook for Q4, if we see anything like above 6.5 billion, or let's say, I mean, if these calculations are correct, I mean, if we are to believe that at least, let's say, 3 billion or at least like 2 billion additional revenue from data center segment, you would assume that AMD would have something like, I don't know, $7.5 billion in revenue, maybe 8 billion. I guess I don't know because you never know, like yeah, but the potential is there. So, and even if they don't get that kind of number in Q4, by Q1 and Q2 next year, we would see those numbers. And again, there's also going to be a ramp for AMD, the same way that Nvidia, maybe not at the same pace, but I definitely expect AMD to sell more MI300s next year than this year. So you would believe that at some point you start to see, I think like maybe even 10 billion additional revenue for AMD next year, just on data center based on MI300 and the derivatives. So yeah, this is my, let's say, napkin math, and I think like we should definitely have our eyes on AMD, and the next earning report I believe is going to be around the 7th of November. I'm not sure if this is confirmed, but the one slide that I will look at other than the actual revenue number for Q3 is the page 24 financial outlook for Q4. And let's see if they have like, I hope that they will have 6.5 at a bare minimum, but it would be good if they had 7 billion revenue, yeah, and maybe the gross margin would be like 53-54%. Then yeah, then we are like going, definitely, then we are seeing that we are going in the right direction. So thank you for watching, and yeah, see you in the next one.